Let's get back into chapter 4, gross income exclusions. Awards for meritorious achievement, awards for religious, charitable, scientific are not taxable if the person did not enter the contest. It's if someone just said, okay, hey, you know what, you won this prize for $100,000. I didn't do anything to do that. So I shouldn't recognize this. It's not required to perform substantial future services. That's essentially wages, right? Designates a qualified charitable organization, government unit to directly receive the payment. I say, you know what, just give it to this charitable organization. Scholarships and fellowships. Scholarships are usually excluded from income for degree-seeking candidates for charges required for courses, qualified tuition-related expenses. This is probably a great time for people to pay attention because this affects, I'm guessing, some of them. Qualified expenses would be tuition, fees, books, supplies, equipment, not rent. And if you're required to play a sport, then it becomes taxed. And it's not the focus anymore. It's degree seeking. It becomes you needing to play sport. That's taxed. Distributions from qualified tuition programs. It's 529 plans. After tax contributions grow and can be drawn tax free if amounts are used to pay for qualified higher education expenses for the beneficiary. You see this a lot with the parents of young children. They get a deduction for 529 and that grows tax free and then can be withdrawn by the child when they reach age 18 and for qualified education expenses. Qualified tuition plans are offered by states or private universities. Individuals either prepay for tuition credits or participate in a plan similar to the 520. No income limits, even wealthy taxpayers can participate. It's popular. Money withdrawn or tax-free if the beneficiary uses funds for qualified higher education expenses. If not used for school, then it becomes taxable and there's a 10% penalty. So it's really set up to be used for education. Owner of the account can change beneficiaries without tax impact if a member of the original beneficiary's family. You know, if it was, or if I had two children and I said, you know what, little Dave isn't super smart, but Sally, you know, she's going places. I can switch. Education credits reduce any exclusion under a 529, and large single donations can be taxed over 5 years, less than 70,000 per person. Payments for injury or sickness. We've kind of covered this before, regards to compensatory versus punitive, but let's hop into it here. Exclude from income payments received for expenses related to physical and or mental injury. Punitive damages are taxed. Workers' compensation is always excluded. Disability income received from disability insurance policy is excludable if the policy is purchased by the taxpayer. Punitive damages are always taxable even if physical injury is involved. Amounts received under accident and health insurance policies are excludable, even if benefits reimbursed for lost wages. Payments for long-term care are excludable up to $390 per day in 22. That number changes slightly. This is why it's important to spell out compensatory versus punitive. Because if it's not spelled out, then it becomes taxable, right? They say, okay, we don't know what the split is, so we're going to be conservative and say it all. You want to say, okay, this is for compensatory, this is for punitive, punitive is taxable, compensatory is not. Fringe benefits received as an employee and paid for by the employer. These are special benefits that some workers get. Special exclusion rules for adoption expenses, insurance, Section 132 benefits, meals and lodging, dependent care, and cafeteria. Generally, anything paid to an employee is usually includable in income. These are things that are paid for, not to, but for, dependent care, cafeteria plan. Adoption expenses. There is a credit for that. Congress provides tax benefits for qualified adoption expenses, and there is an adoption exclusion. This is amounts paid to an employee by an employer for adoption assistance. I would print this off. This is a good chart, is to say, hey, here's everything that we just kind of went through and how it works. Medical and healthcare premiums, benefits, disability premiums, and then paid for by the employer, what the employee. Payer paid insurance, these are premiums paid for or by an employer for health, disability, qualifying group term life insurance. This this would probably be another good slide to print off. Employer paid insurance and fringe benefits can start to it gets pretty nuanced. It gets real specific in some certain situations as to, if this happens, then this, if that happens, then that. I mean, you can even kind of see when you're going through with chronically ill versus terminally ill, the rules change. I'm gonna pause it there and we will start our next video here shortly.